FXOpIiKzErO, and today I'm going to be casting a game here between FXOpIiKzErO versus NOVAstalife. These two guys are huge, and we have NOVAstalife spawning as the green Terran here in the bottom position on Metalopolis, and in the 12 o'clock position we have FXOpIiKzErO as the very, very manly pink Protoss. And Gateway now coming down for FXOpIiKzErO as he sends his probe out on a marathon to scout cross positions. Once again, like the last game, these two guys are cross positions, and we might be seeing the third base coming into play and being the deciding factor. Whoever engages the third base or decides to take it first, whoever's more greedy, we're going to see what's coming up. And NOVAstalife going to send out his scout as well now. FXOpIiKzErO looked like he went scouting directly cross map. So wow, great intuition by FXOpIiKzErO, scouting the Xel'Naga tower and then moving right down in the 6th block position. Alright, so looks like the SCV from NOVAstalife gonna check out the 3 o'clock position, seeing nothing, and then gonna go straight up to the 12 o'clock position and complete its marathon of scouting. Probe from FXOpIiKzErO gonna get ushered away. Alright, let's take a look at the production tab now as things are starting to ramp up. Second gas going down for FXOpIiKzErO, so he wants to get his gas flowing in ASAP. First gas going down now for NOVAstalife as he starts mining that thing. Factory now going down about 1/4 the way complete, so he's moving straight up the tech tree. We might be seeing some early Banshees coming in from NOVAstalife. Ooh, bunker now going down. This tells me that NOVAstalife excuse me. This tells me that NOVAstalife is going for some fast tech, because he's going to place himself into a very defensive position. He's not going to need much troops on the ground just to hold his ramp, and getting this early factory. If he goes for the starport, I'm going to guess Banshees. Possibly Cloak, possibly not. Cloak Banshees are always a toss-up versus Protoss players, especially now after the patch, since observers are just so easy to just churn out. They're just like churros. Just twist them up, toss them in the oven, and bam, they're out with only 75 gas costs. So anyways, starport going down for NOVAstalife with this tech lab, so we're going to see a switch going off. And definitely going to see the Banshees coming out. I cannot see anything otherwise. Possibly Blue Flame Hellion drop, but probably not. Definitely not, as we're seeing the factory getting floated. No, it's landing down again. What's going on? Okay, so huge sort of massive Tetris move coming in from NOVAstalife, just switching stuff all left and right. Tank coming down for NOVAstalife, so there were well, we can still see the Banshees getting popped out. Maybe NOVAstalife changed his mind, decided not to go for the earlier Banshees, as we see the observer now moving down the middle of the map, and looks like he's gone for the early Raven instead. This is a very interesting build from NOVAstalife. He's got the earlier tank, probably to help hold off his ramp rather than to be aggressive, and the Raven, maybe he's looking to pick off the observer early on. This could be a very innovative strategy. Raven come down, picking off the observer really quick, forcing the second observer to be made. Ooh, hold that thought. Actually, we have Blink Stalkers coming in from FXOpIiKzErO, and as well as an expansion. So his Stalkers are going to be able to roam across the map, going to go and attack, going to be able to quickly go back and reinforce his base if needed. So great plan there from FXOpIiKzErO. NOVAstalife's Raven is now out on the field, and probably not going to do too much. I'm surprised at how defensively NOVAstalife is playing at this point. He scanned the 1 gate into Robo. He didn't scan a 4 gate or anything crazy like that, but just how defensively he's playing is very interesting. Raven unfortunately going to miss this observer, not going to be able to scout that out and pick it off with the Marines. He's obviously looking for that shimmer in the air. However, he's got to be careful though. 5 Stalkers now at the bottom of the ramp for NOVAstalife can easily do a little bit of harassment now, especially with the Blink and the observer getting range of the blink, right? They're gonna pick off the Raven. Oh, Raven survives with 14 HP. That is huge. If FXOpIiKzErO got that Raven, that would have been horrible for StarLife. In exchange, though, StarLife managed to pick off the Observer, so it's actually FXOpIiKzErO that's gonna take a loss in that fight. However, yeah, there we go. 2 SCVs now repairing the Raven. He does not want to lose that huge investment early on. Yeah, very, very nice play. Well, actually not nice, just unfortunate play, I have to say, from FXOpIiKzErO not being able to pick off this Raven, despite trying to commit a lot to that. Ooh, Stalker's now going to intercept this Banshee with no cloak. That Banshee, oh, nice use of the blink ability by FXOpIiKzErO. Going to be able to usher away this Banshee with 0 kills to his name. Now even warping a Stalker here in the back just to make sure this Banshee doesn't come around for a second wave in the main base, excuse me, of FXOpIiKzErO. FXOpIiKzErO now feeling a little bit more comfortable to move out. However, these Stalkers are going to be able to challenge those Marines, especially with the blink upgrade. He's going to be able to micro them very, very well. Ooh, look at that one. The weakened Stalker getting... Ooh, oh no, getting some lag going on in this game. Unfortunately, hopefully that is not me. Anyways, so a little bit lag here could be very bad, especially in this tense micro moment. Stalkers... Oh, first Stalker getting picked down. Oh, man. Some clutch Banshee shot. Managed to take out one Banshee, so that's going to usher away FXOpIiKzErO for the time being. His Stalkers are very, very low on health. As we see StarLife's command center going down, he's going to make an orbital command center, and out of that, he feels he can hold his natural expansion with little problems. No need for planetary forces. FXOpIiKzErO going to move in once again. More lag going down. Point defense drone as well, going to soak up some of the shots from the Stalkers. Yeah, those Stalkers not doing any damage. I think FXOpIiKzErO just needs to move out at this point. He's just sort of taking damage and not returning any damage at all. Meanwhile, third base going down for FXOpIiKzErO, so this harassment is not gone for waste. He's just keeping StarLife in his base while he takes third base, making sure he doesn't get harassed too much. It's 81 food supply to 78 food supply. Protoss players slightly... Oh no! Running into the tank shots. Those Stalkers leaving with their armors on fire. Got to be really, really careful now. FXOpIiKzErO just needs to move back right now. Yeah, there we go. He is going back. He does not need to engage whatsoever. He cannot do anything, especially with his point defense drone out on the field and these siege tanks. He just needs to make sure he doesn't waste too much Stalkers at this point. Because, quite frankly, he's very, very light on the troop count. Let's take a look at the units tab. Look at this. 9 Stalkers, 4 Zealots, and 2 Sentries out on the field. And that's it for our Protoss player. Now transferring the probes to the third expansion. Let's just take a look at the income from FXOpIiKzErO skyrocket. It's always interesting to see. Meanwhile, a huge army from NOVAstalife moving down the middle of the map. These siege tanks with the marine support are huge versus our Protoss player, especially a very, very lightly defended Protoss player. Only got 1 Colossus right now to his name. Looks like the army is backing off now, so that's going to give FXOpIiKzErO more time to get more troops out. He's going to be able to hold things off, no problem, later on. Third command center going down for NOVAstalife. A little bit late, but nonetheless, as a Terran player, it's okay. Ooh, double Stargates going down for FXOpIiKzErO. We might be seeing a Void Ray transition. I don't see Phoenixes getting used. Maybe just 4 or 5 Phoenixes as a harassment tool. But at this point, there's so little bases of NOVAstalife. He's not really spread out enough to get a lot of effective harassment, excuse me, on the middle line. With the Phoenixes, so I assume the the Void Ray upgrade. And again, note, in the latest patch, Void Rays actually got a small buff. They have their speed upgrade back, so Void Rays can easily roam around the map extremely fast, and also they do 20% more damage to massive units like Thors and battle cruisers, which are not out on the field yet for StarLife. However, if they were, those Voiders are easily going to be able to just work on that. Is this the oh, actually 2 Phoenixes getting popped out for FXOpIiKzErO, so he's going to go for the harassment route earlier on, probably followed up by the Void Rays. What is this? We are seeing the Gravitic boosters coming in for FXOpIiKzErO. That's going to increase the movement speed by the observers. Yay, I can read. Stalkers still roaming around the map. I have to say FXOpIiKzErO is getting the most bang for his buck ever from these Stalkers. Gonna pick slowly at the barracks from the low ground as NOVAstalife tries to engage with this. However, these guys are so mobile that he can just move right away, and this is exactly what you need to do, especially when you're expanding like crazy, like FXOpIiKzErO is doing right now, taking his gold expansion now. That's gonna be huge if that gets up and running. And these Stalkers serve two purposes. A, he keeps the forces of Stalife just like this in his base, just ready to defend instead of ready to attack. And second, maintains map control as well, and just makes sure that your opponent is on top, on his tippy toes, and make sure he doesn't get comfortable at any stage of the game. Wow, a lot of Phoenix is being pumped out for FXOpIiKzErO. He's looking to rip apart those medevacs and also go pick up those siege tanks, which I have to say is a very, very good use of those Phoenixes. I forgot about that earlier on. If these siege tanks siege up, you can run the Phoenixes in, pick those guys up, completely nullified, and your Colossus just have free reign. However, hold that thought because we have this massive engagement from NOVAstalife moving down the middle of the map. Ooh, Phoenix is going to spot this out before it completely gets engaged. However, this fourth expansion from FXOpIiKzErO is completely going to fall. There's no way the Protoss player can hold this. Not even going to waste a stim to try to pick this off because there's only one medevac to heal all these units. And look at that Nexus just explode into smithereens. FXOpIiKzErO going to try to engage. There's quite a lot of siege tanks. We need to see the Phoenixes lead the charge and pick those guys up. There we go. Oh man, all of the siege tanks getting picked up by the Phoenixes. That's huge. I think that is the deciding factor in this game. As we can see, these troops from Stalife are just completely without support, and these Colossus just ripping apart the troops from Stalife. And Colossus, I don't think even a single Colossus fell in that battle. However, all of the Stalkers did fall, but I have to say FXOpIiKzErO probably wanted that because if anything, you want those Colossus retention. You don't want to lose all your Colossus and end up with a whole bunch of Stalkers under your belt. Instead, you want to lose your Stalkers and end up with a whole bunch of Colossus like we saw in this last battle. I have to say, those Phoenixes turned things around. I thought the siege tanks were going to rip apart the Protoss army. However, they were completely nullified by the Graviton beams of the Phoenixes. So, wow, amazing play from FXOpIiKzErO. Just goes to show why he is one of the top players in North America right now. Man, I had to take a breather after that. After that game, FXOpIiKzErO is going to be able to get his fourth expansion and gold expansion nonetheless up and running very, very safely. Look at the army from Stalife, just barely any, and now he's finally pumping those Vikings. And however, those Phoenixes are going to be able to do a great job versus the Vikings. After this is a very nice unit composition from FXOpIiKzErO. Phoenix is working on those Vikings. Vikings are just too slow, and they attack just too slow. You need to get them at a far range to maximize their usability. Oh, actually, while these forces of FXOpIiKzErO are being sort of distracted, looks like the Terran player is going to go in for a Nexus snipe. This is going to be huge if he can snipe this thing. He needs to. Oh, there we go. The Nexus goes down. Are we going to see him go in the natural expansion? That could be the thing that turns things around. And look at this. FXOpIiKzErO's forces are just so slow with those Colossus. It's just taking him forever to try and reinforce his base. And I think Stalife is going to be able to get right on out of here, having taken the prize of the Nexus third base. Yeah, his forces are going to slowly get whittled down by these Phoenixes, but I think ultimately, well, we're going to see these Zealots are engaging fast, and with the charge, oh, first two Zealots charging in, more Phoenixes getting picked off. FXOpIiKzErO is saying, you took down my third expansion, I am not going to let you leave without a fight. As we can see, just a skeleton crew left for Stalife as he regroups with his reinforcements. Wow, so just action after action coming in from these two guys. Vikings, excuse me, getting caught a little bit off guard. I think this is going to be the battle to end things because FXOpIiKzErO's forces are just so huge. He just barely loses any Colossus in any of these fights. There we go. Stalife calls out the GG. FXOpIiKzErO returns the GG as well. That's going to be game over. FXOpIiKzErO taking it very readily. Macro Protoss. Look how many bases he has on the mini-map. Wow, what a great game in the US Craft Cup. I am Pyramidus, and I'm going to be see you guys later.